Hello, and welcome to You're Wrong About Musicals. I'm Esme,
And I'm Nell.
and today we are going to be talking about the Addams Family.
Wowee! I love the
Wow!
Addams Family.
Do I love the Addams Family? I have a mixed relationship with it, but first, we're recording these basically in real time now, because before a lot of them were like recorded weeks in advance.
Yeah, now it's Wednesday. It's always going to be Wednesday
It's
because we're
always gonna
both
be
free.
Wednesdays. They're both
But we
frees.
record it like the Wednesday, and
And
then
then they're
release
out,
it
and then
on the
they're released on
Monday.
Monday. So yeah, so now we actually get to like talk about news in real time, which we thought. We mean when we say news, we mean theatrical
So
news. The first one is Sarah Brightman will be playing Norma Desmond, is that her
yes, I think so.
name? In a Australian production of Sunset Boulevard.
This is big news because Sarah Brightman has not done theatre in years.
Yeah, yeah,
And then to do Sunset Boulevard?
yeah.
That's
Surely
crazy.
she's had offers from so many
Oh,
people.
surely.
Like, anytime you want to do a piece of theatre, let us know. And it's
I
not
think
like
it is interesting that it is also like Andy's show.
it's Andy show, and it's also in Australia.
Yeah.
Um, what else do we want to talk about? Yeah.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls coming to London. I signed up for pre-sale just now because I've decided I'm going to go see it.
You're definitely gonna go see it.
I'm definitely going to go see it. Am I going to have a good time?
No.
TBD. Stay tuned.
The pictures from the Mean Girls movie also came out and it doesn't look great.
Oh yeah,
Um,
so they leaked and people have been roasting it. I want to defend it, and especially because it's got Renee Rapp in it, and I really do like Renee Rapp's music.
I think she's really good. I think it is just
It's just not a good musical.
I saw someone saying, especially in regards to because a lot of people I saw were criticizing the costumes.
Yes.
And someone was saying that it's not their fault, it's because like fast fashion has become so big that everything is like micro trends. So
Yeah, yeah,
the stuff they're wearing were definitely like very popular when they started filming,
yeah.
but now it feels like a year old.
Well, no, because it is literally a year old because this movie was filmed in 28 days.
Yeah, but it's like the original Mean Girls movie. When you look at it, it's like fashion from the 2000s,
It's
from the
fashion
early
from the 2000s.
2000s.
And one of the big
But
things
it's
with,
not, you're not going to be like, that is fashion from spring 2001, which
yeah,
I actually have no idea when specifically the original Mean Girls was
the
filmed.
original Mean Girls was filmed in 2003. It
Somewhat
was
close.
released in
But
2004.
you won't be like, this is like fashion from September 2003. And you can
Yeah,
tell that because fashion has moved on so quickly from then. It's from the 2000s. Which is what makes Mean Girls such a good movie as well, because
yeah,
it's long ever. Blah, blah. It still makes sense today, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
The Mean
But
Girls musical doesn't is bad. Sorry,
no, we can criticize it now. Now that I've had my reawakening. Regina is a good role though. I stand by that some of her songs are fun.
a lot of the songs are good.
Are they?
I just think, yeah, I think a lot of the songs are good.
I'm not convinced about a lot of them.
Okay? What songs do you think are
I don't want
good?
to get in. I think World Bad is good.
Yeah, I think Someone Gets Hurt is
I
good.
think Someone Gets Hurt is good. What else do I think is good?
I think that I don't remember
I think
I think Stupid with Love is okay.
Stupid with Love is cute. I think Someone Gets Hurt, as I mentioned. What's Wrong with Me? And the reprise of that,
Yeah, I think are good.
possible. Sexy, I think Sexy is hilarious. It's funny.
Yeah, Sexy goes is a good song. It works well.
I'm not convinced about the rest of it.
Yeah, I hate to say this because this was like your song for a while.
Yeah, no, I listened to it the other day.
However,
I know exactly what you're on about. It's I'd rather be me.
yeah,
And I listened to it the other day and I was just like, it's scrouchy. It's not fun to listen to.
yeah, it's not great.
No. This all being said, I have signed up for pre-sale and I am going to go see it, but everyone keeps expecting me to be bouncing from the rooftops about it. And I'm not. I knew it was coming.
It's just not a great musical. That's what we're trying to say, and we're
Yeah.
not that excited that
We
it's
are
coming
gonna
to
go see the
London.
movie.
Oh yeah, I'm also not that excited about that. I'm
No,
gonna go see it.
but I'm not that excited about many movie musicals. Like the Wicked one, I'm like,
Yeah,
I mean, I've
I
got
know
to
what you're
see it
saying.
I've got to see the Wicked movie at this point because it's been so many years in the making. But
You
I'm
don't think
not.
it's going to be good?
No, no, I don't think the Wicked movie is going to be good. What's some other news? Jordan Fisher's finally won at life. He's playing Orpheus.
Yeah, there's a
We
lot of drama.
literally.
Spent like an hour. Basically, I was waiting for our
Oh,
washing to be done before we
Jeremy
could start
Jordan lied
recording.
about his height.
He did. And I want to make it clear, he definitely did. There was a video which has now been deleted for
It's
some
now.
reason.
Is it still deleted?
I actually don't know. I can check in a second.
Check. Because my Wi-Fi is too bad to probably support.
Yeah, let me check.
Um,
But basically, there was this video by
by that
and
man.
that showbiz, the people who were kind of doing a ton of the behind the scenes stuff at Gatsby,
Yeah.
while it's from rehearsals. And they put out a video, and it was like answering your most pressing questions about
It
Jeremy
was like
Jordan.
so generic content.
It was, like the Wired interviews where they have like the Google board and they peel off
Yeah, it's like the Broadway
why
logo.
does Jeremy Jordan? Who is Jeremy Jordan? All of that stuff. Does Jeremy Jordan? All of that stuff. Um, they basically did one of those. And one of the questions was, how tall is Jeremy Jordan? I think it was like in feet or something.
Yeah.
And I want to make it clear right now, I love Jeremy Jordan. Great actor, great guy. It seems lovely. Love him.
He is.
He is 5'8". He is 5'8". And then he goes on this video,
We
which
always
again
see
has now been deleted, and says, I'm 5'10".
actually still deleted.
Yeah. I just went and checked. And he goes on and he says, I'm 5'10". No, you're not.
That's so weird that it's been deleted.
I don't understand why. I don't know if he said anything else in it. I just kind of was focused on him
You
saying that
just
he's
heard
5'10".
he said that I got the message through and I was like, he's not 5'10", he's such a liar. And I was like, that's not Jeremy Jordan.
Yeah, he's not 5'10". Love him though.
We love a 5'8" king.
What else has been happening? I mean, literally, we were waiting for my washing to be done, and we were scrolling onto Datex because basically,
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt this recording to go and get my washing out. We were scrolling onto Datex, and I literally would just see a show and be like, "Esme, do you want to go and see?"
See, I was like, let's go actually like see Sunset Boulevard or like Sondheim.
I want to see something. Basically, Sunset Boulevard has a guy running through the streets of London, while he's being filmed, and then he enters the theater and Act Two starts. Well,
Yeah.
like that's the start of Act Two, and then it continues on when he's in the theater. I think this is insane. And everyone was like, "Oh, it's obviously pre-recorded, right?"
No, because
You know?
there's like people who are like their credit because they do a credit scene at the end is
Yeah.
like camera operator, and then
Yeah,
like
and
the
then someone
swings
else
for the camera
posted a video.
operators.
Someone else posted a video where they were just, I think, in a pub in London, and this guy walked past them singing, and they were like, "Fuck is going on there?" But so we want to go, and we want to see this.
Basically, the weirder you can make an older musical will be there.
In the Oklahoma effect.
Oklahoma. God, I love Oklahoma. Anyway, let's jump on into the Addams Family.
The Addams Family.
The Addams Family is a musical with music and lyrics by Andrew Lipa and a book by Marshall Brickman and Rick Leese. It is actually based on the cartoons by Charles Addams. So you know how there's been like 10 million like movies, TV shows, stuff about the Addams Family. This musical is just strictly based on the cartoons, and I've been around since the 1930s. Charles Addams was a fascinating man, as I came to find out. At one point, he dated Jackie Kennedy.
What the hell?
After the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
I mean, you'd hope.
Well, if Smash has taught me anything, it's that JFK was probably not very faithful to Jackie. And also I probably should not be learning history from Smash, the TV show.
Yeah.
Charles Addams would draw 1,300 New Yorker cartoons, but only 58 of them would be of the unnamed family that would remain anonymous until they became a TV show in the 1960s. With Gomez actually being based off of the actor that was playing him, it would become a cult show with it still being like rerun on TV for decades to come. It would then become a big screen movie called The Addams Family. Have you seen the movie?
No.
It's actually a decent movie. Like I vividly remember watching it as a child, which was well received by the critics, but didn't make a lot of money. But then the other film, Addams Family Values, which I remember liking Addams Family Values better than Addams Family,
Not
uh,
seen either.
came out in 1993, which was loved by critics but only made 50 million. The most recent Addams Family property is Wednesday, starring Jenna Ortega and produced by Jim Burton.
Jim?
Tim Burton, sorry. Which revolves around Wednesday Addams, who attempts to solve a murder mystery in her new boarding school.
Wow.
I've not seen Wednesday either.
Yeah, me neither.
My friend told me it was good, but I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to be so honest.
I've heard mixed reviews.
So yeah, in May of 2007, it was announced that the Addams Family would be becoming a Broadway musical, with it planning to play Broadway in the 2009-2010 season after an out of town tryout.
It's been 5 years since the guy didn't like musicals. As
Also,
of today,
big
it's the
news.
5-year anniversary. Working boys!
No, bigger news. What's out in 2 days? Nerdy Prudes.
That's crazy. But it's been 5 years since the guy didn't like musicals.
Yeah. Wait, it's been 5 years since 2018.
Yeah, it's been 5 years since the guy didn't like musicals came out.
5 years later, the series
God.
is finally concluding.
Well, that we still haven't seen Nerdy Prudes. They could very well end on a cliffhanger. Because we've been calling it the Hatchet-filled trilogy.
Yeah,
We actually have no idea.
Here's the thing. We have been talking about seeing Nerdy Prudes Must Die for like
Since it was announced.
3 years now.
Since after Black Friday came out.
Literally, we watched Black Friday and we were like, next one. And
Well,
so
Black Friday was 2019.
Black Friday was we watched it in 2020 though, because we don't pay to watch Star Kids shows.
Yeah, but we watched it in like January 2020.
Yeah.
And we're like, wow, this year 2020, we have to go and see Nerdy Prudes. It's going to be so good. We have to go and see it this year. We'll get a digital ticket, or maybe we'll fly out, but we have to go and see it. And then it didn't happen for like 3 years.
No, it didn't happen.
And then we were still like, we have to get a digital ticket. And we didn't.
Didn't. No, because we looked at getting a digital ticket and then we were like, actually, we waited this long.
We can wait longer.
We can wait longer. So I need to work out what my plan is for watching it.
When's it out? Friday?
Friday. I might be going to Swift Together.
Friday?
That's the question, because I might be going to Swift Together. And I feel like it's the kind of thing that's going to get spoiled for me on like socials. Haven't you had it like the term blocked?
Yeah, I have all variations of the term blocked on Twitter right now, like muted, because I kept getting spoilers for it and I was really annoyed.
I know that Mariah Rose Faith's character wears a Fleetwood Mac.
No spoilers.
Rumors t-shirt.
I don't care.
I see edits, but I scroll. I've also seen like a lot of people doing like Black Friday the guy didn't like musical edits because they're like, I can't edit Nerdy Prudes until everyone's seen it. And I'm like, I respect the Addams Family. There would be a reading in January of 2009 with a write-up in the New York Post stating that the show was based on the Charles Addams drawings, not the film or the TV show. Because of this, the estate, quote, have complete control over everything on this show and they rule with an iron fist. The estate, which was like only created like a couple years before the musical, make $1 million a year on all things Addams. So the Addams Family is like a massive business. I think it's a lot more popular or recognizable than we think it is.
I do think it's very recognizable. It's just kind of like an iconic set of characters.
Yeah. And an interesting quote that I found was a investor was told Michael Riedel, who did this thing in the Post, said, the story's a little thin, but they throw a lot of funny jokes at you. Says the theatre executive, who's going to invest 10 million in the show.
Jesus.
I'm not convinced that like theatre producing is like a real thing.
No, for real.
Because some of the decisions and the conversations that they have, I'm like, what the hell are you on about? One of like the ideas that they had when they were creating the show was they would do what like Disney did with The Lion King, where they would have like this very commercialized thing, but they would make it really artistic and really beautiful. And then it would just like run for years and years and years, which I feel like is what every single show has been trying to do since The Lion King, like show based on something. They're like, we want to be cool and artistic. And they did try. It would open in Chicago in the Oriental Theatre, playing from November 13th, 2009 to January 10th, 2010. It would gain mixed reviews from the critics, saying that it was under-focused with snappy and funny, with some of the characters feeling flimsy and underdeveloped. It would then transfer to Broadway, with reviews stating that on the 8th of March, with previews starting on the 8th of March 2010 at the Lint Fontaine Theatre, with many of the cast from Chicago returning, with BB Newirth as Morticia, Nathan Lane as Gomez, Chris Rodriguez as Wednesday, Wesley Taylor as Lucas Beinecke, Terrence Mann as Mal Beinecke, Carolee Carmello as Alice Beinecke. They were both in Tuck Everlasting.
It's the Tuck guys. They're from Tuck.
Yeah. Kevin Chamberlain
That's crazy.
as Uncle Fester.
Okay.
Bertram from
Jesse, I know.
Jackie Hoffman as Grandma, Zachary James as Lurch, and Adam Reiger as Pugsley. The show had an estimated like budget of 15 million, which I don't know. Is that a lot of money? I think it is.
I think it definitely is. I just think it's actually not for a Broadway show.
I think Newsies was cheaper.
To be fair, the original, I think this is the thing. When they're saying budget to run, what do they mean?
Yes.
Because if that's like a weekly budget of how much it costs to put on every week for 8 performances, then that's insane.
No,
but if it's like
weekly budget, like an expensive weekly budget is like 900K.
Yeah.
But
like Phantom is expensive on the West End now.
Yeah.
But on Broadway it was expensive to run every week.
And I know like the issue that some shows are having at the moment is that they're very big budget, but they're just not making the ticket sales.
Yeah.
I feel like 50 million like investment cost isn't actually that bad.
No, I think it's a lot of money. To make it clear, that is a ton of money.
That is more money than we will ever be able to conceptualize.
In the scheme of like Broadway shows, it's not.
Yes. I can't believe we're actually about to talk about this on the podcast. It's not going to be what you expect, because I was like doing this and I was like, holy fuck, I forgot that existed. How did I forget?
What could this possibly be?
Between the runs, they had to like change the show so completely because of the bad things it got with them bringing in director Jerry Zaks 4 months before it came to Broadway. Jackie Hoffman said that the show is the same. The show is the same because they kept the director, but what would have been the vision would have been great. So she was basically like, it is what it is. You know, it's show business, not show love. It is important to note that the spring that the Addams Family came in was the same season that Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark was meant to open, which meant, but then like pushed back its opening famously at the last minute. So the Addams Family became this big event of the season when it was actually just supposed to kind of slip in kind of quietly. So I guess maybe the reason why the reviews are so horrific is because the critics wanted to hate something that season and they couldn't go and hate Spider-Man.
I mean, they would eventually, but
I know very little about the Spider-Man musical.
I just know it's crazy. I've seen some clips and it's crazy.
I've seen clips. I've heard the jokes. And if they ever let me into that little place in Lincoln Center where they let you watch all of the shows that have ever been on Broadway, like archival footage,
they should let us in.
They should let us in. I would be intrigued to watch Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Exactly.
Just to see the insanity. Anywho, in the reviews, they were not great. They were pretty bad. They did not like the Addams Family. With the New York Times saying, tepid goulash vaudeville songs and dance routines, boorish bout jokes, stingeless sitcom zingers, homey romance plot lines that are mossy in the age of Father Knows Most, distinctive in its wholesale inability to hold a consistent tone or our internal logic.
I mean, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Uh, Financial Times wrote a more favorable review. Move over, Wicked. There's a new musical in town. Unlike its predecessor, it's safe not just for 13-year-old girls, but for 13-year-old boys. I am talking, of course, about the Addams Family, the snappy, happy tribe whose latest musical iteration has propped to fulfill life at the Lindfontein, amply supplied with sometimes clever, sometimes these groaning vaudevillian one-liners that book writers Marshall Brickman and Brick Elise, whose last stint was Jersey Boys, and resourceful
Wow.
songs by Andrew Lipa, composer of the gloriously decent off-Broadway show Wild Party. The Addams Family lends further life to the clan of love and death. They're not saying much about the show in that review, though.
Nope.
They're just kind of like, it is
It's
show.
happening.
It's happening, and you can bring your sons to it.
Musical theatre is for boys now.
Lads, come see Jersey Boys and maybe Addams Family. Broadway World's headline included a next to normal reference for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I read it and I was like, what the fuck? And
What's the reference?
it was like new next to normal family, and I was like,
That is not a reference, that is just a blatant statement.
Okay, I was really hungover when I did this.
Yeah.
Like many of those unrevivable musicals from the early decades of the 20th century, the Addams Family works best as a star vehicle, and the Lantfontaine is presently hosting a constellation full of them. And that's one of the more favourable reviews.
Really didn't do well.
But what it brings up is an interesting point, because they did a oral history of it in the New York Times, and one thing that they said was because of this change and shift, and because fucking Spider-Man didn't open, they had to really change the marketing of this show. And so they were like, what have we got? Oh, we've got Nathan Lane and BB Newirth. Let's just really push this as like a stunt casting thing.
Which is fair.
Kind of out of nowhere. I got up the article. Yeah, they just say Addams Family next to normal. And I was reading it and I was like, wrong musical, guys. One of the worst of them was the Washington Post, who said, oh, Broadway, Broadway, Broadway. Don't you know? You've never seemed sadder, more unimaginatively barren when you're driving for commercial relevance in the dumpsters behind old TV shows and movies. The Addams Family is this year's answer to the question, how many talented people does it take to screw up a content? Mark's surprisingly depressing of ever more degraded standard of what it's a new show that, despite mechanicized trickery, feels rickety beyond belief. The 2010 musical version of the series of magazine cartoons from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s that became a popular sitcom in the 60s and a 90s Hollywood franchise, what you might call is a pre-owned Broadway musical.
Ooh.
So they do not like this. It is synopsis time. If you would like.
Oh my god.
To read. It is a long one this time. I was looking at it and I was
I'm
like,
seeing. That's quite a bit. The Addams Family. A comical feast that embraces the wackiness in every family, features an original story, and this doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense about it?
Because it's saying a comical feast that embraces the wackiness in every family, part one.
Yes.
Part two, it's a comical feast that one embraces the wackiness in every family, two features an original story.
Yes.
But then my thought is it should be, and three is every father's nightmare.
Uh-huh.
But it's saying, and it's every father's nightmare, Wednesday Addams.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
And then continue on, the ultimate princess of darkness has grown up and fallen. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna read it how they've written it, and it's gonna sound stupid. So it's not my fault. The Addams Family, a comical feast that embraces the wackiness in every family, features an original story, and it's every father's nightmare. Wednesday Addams, the ultimate princess of darkness, has grown up and fallen in love with a sweet, smart young man from a respectable family, a man her parents have never met. And if that wasn't upsetting enough, Wednesday confides in her father and begs him not to tell her mother. Now, Gomez Addams must do something he's never done before, keep a secret from his beloved wife, Morticia. Everything will change for the family on the fateful night they hosted dinner for Wednesday's normal boyfriend and his parents.
That is basically the entire plot of the Addams Family.
Yeah, you're not really gonna.
There I would rewrite that if I could be asked. So I've done the Addams Family, like everyone has.
Yeah, yeah.
It we'll get onto it, but it is such an important, like it is such an overly done show. Like everyone does it, and I'm not
I think
entirely.
it is. It's genuinely one of those shows that is great for like theatre schools because
Yeah.
it's great for kids to do. It has, I don't know if child friendly is the right term, but it's written for children basically.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, and I hate to bring him up, Joseph was specifically written for children to perform, right?
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
And yeah, yeah. You don't have to agree, it's a fact.
No, because I've just made a link between something. Continue.
Uh-oh. Like Joseph was specifically written for kids. And now it's kind of a cult classic musical and a ton of kids do it, but you'll also see proper productions. Addams Family, I feel like you really only see kids' productions of it now. Like you definitely do see full-scale productions, but it
Yeah.
tends to be kids or like theatre students rather than
Amateur
actual
productions.
yeah.
Um, so a dear friend of the podcast
Uh-oh.
did Joseph one year, and then the next
Uh,
year did the Addams Family.
yeah.
So that really drives home how much it is. I have one friend who has done it in some variation 3 times.
Jesus.
Um, the other friend who did it Joseph one year and then Addams Family another year has did it twice in 6 months. Yeah.
Jesus.
So everyone does the Addams Family. But what's really interesting about that synopsis is I couldn't actually get the one for the Broadway run.
Mm.
So normally I just take the one for the Broadway run off of the Playbill website because it's normally like just the standard one that like goes out to advertisers and it doesn't really change across productions. Because we'll get onto it in a moment, but there are differences between the Broadway run and then the run that's done everywhere else, like the version,
Yeah.
significant differences. And one of them is the conflict between Morticia and Gomez is basically non-existent in the Broadway run, which is such a driving and animating force of the musical. Like it's the second scene. As I said, I've done the Addams Family, so I know my shit.
Yeah.
And like the second scene, Wednesday goes to Gomez, uh, Daddy, I'm engaged, don't tell mom. And again, you have to do American accents. This goes back to the whole like, why are we expecting Americans to do British accents?
But the Addams Family are like American.
They live in Central Park. In this iteration, they live
Yeah.
in Central Park. It's like a lyric in one normal thing. I asked those two friends, I was like, recording something on the Addams Family tomorrow. Do you guys have any thoughts, opinions you'd like shared? Because I went to go see our friend do it with the other one who's done it 3 times, and she sat in the chair next to me and mouthed along the words for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Have I got any more thoughts on it? I don't know. I feel like the Addams Family sits in a really interesting spot because I feel like it's one of the first big adaptation musicals of the
Yeah.
2010s or the late noughties, early 2010s. Because what?
It's like I think it is a good musical.
Yeah.
Like it holds up pretty well. I
Pulled?
just don't think it was huh?
Will have to pulled? Pulled.
Yeah, Pulled is
Will
good.
have to
The
be
Addams Family,
primed
the song is good.
is good. What other songs do I like? Oh, apparently according to one of my friends who's done it 10 times, she hates Happy Sad and thinks it should be cut.
Mm.
Um, and the other friend who has played Gomez twice has said that Gomez is an amazing father. Yeah, I was like, dude, you are 19 years old. You have no experience of
I feel like Secrets is a good song.
secret slap. You know what else slaps that doesn't get enough recognition? Oh God. Uh, what's Alice's song called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Let me
Where
find
she's
it.
going crazy on the table.
I do know what it's
It's called
called.
like Waiting. It's called Waiting.
Yeah. I'm literally gonna go look at the album. One Normal Night is a good song.
One Normal Night freaking slaps. Should I tell you what song I hate with a burning
Yeah.
passion? Crazier Than You.
I thought it might be.
Okay, so when I did the Addams Family, it was like a weird ass version of it. I played the grandma. Why was I in Crazier Than You?
That is a good question.
All of us were. Gomez was in Crazier Than You.
It's one of those things that I feel like and this is the thing that again I think it's because Addams Family has just become a kids musical that you just put on
Yeah.
and you get a ton of kids to do. And I feel like in that sense, a lot of the choices made will never make sense. It's like if you were a parent and you were paying for your kid to go and do like because you'll do it in like a summer boot camp, you'd still
Yeah.
be like, oh, my kid's in the ensemble, because obviously, but I still want to see them.
Then
So
some don't do that much though. It's not really an ensemble show. It's got a lot of
yeah,
roles.
I've known some productions have, in a weird way, kind of because in most cases I feel the ancestors and the ensemble are two very different roles.
No, I think they're all. I've always seen it as one.
Because I've seen some that have specifically had like a different, like in like I was just gonna say playbills, but I've never seen the Addams Family in a proper setting.
No,
In like productions of it where they list the cast, I've seen different listings for the ancestors
I can
and
see
for the
that though.
ensemble. And you
Yeah,
can understand why. It does make more sense to put them together, in my opinion, because they are, no offense to anyone who's actually no offense. Scrap that. The ancestors are an ensemble.
because
That's
at the
not a
end of the
bad
day,
thing.
like they were the ones that decided I'm gonna put on the Addams Family.
Yeah. I mean, no offense if you've been in the Addams Family, we all have. We've all done it. You're not special. But
I've done
it's like
Chicago, so I'm
when you're
special.
but when you're watching like Beauty and the Beast,
Yes,
I've seen productions where they'll be like, there's the ensemble and then there's the townsfolk. That is the same thing.
yes, exactly. I
Like,
can get.
what are the townsfolk doing that the ensemble isn't?
Yeah, like I get like I don't know because I think the music of the Addams Family is very good, and when performed well, it is very good.
Yeah.
However, do I think that people who don't really have all the training in the world should be belting out
I,
waiting? No, because it's the thing with the Addams Family is that it's a lot higher than you think,
oh yeah.
and it's a lot of belting.
Yeah.
And have you ever sung pooled?
Yes.
Of course. What was sorry, silly
I'm sorry,
me.
I'm a soprano. I've sung pulled. I think we've all sung pulled.
I've sung pooled, and I'm not a soprano.
Okay, you were a girl in musical theatre. You've sung pulled.
Yeah, no, I've sung pooled.
Sorry, we've all sung pulled.
It's like Victoria Justice. We all
I think
sing
we've all sung
and
pulled.
bored. um,
It's just one of those songs that
it's
everyone
just one of
knows,
those songs,
everyone's
but
sung
it's
it.
actually quite hard.
Yeah, it's a hard song. I
Quite
don't know
hard.
what business like 14-year-old me had learning pulled, but
I was like 16 and
it
I was like,
wasn't good.
shit, this is hard. Because the second you
But I was gonna say, right, the
you like
reason
wait, can I go back to my thing with pulled? Because you
oh yeah,
belt a bit. You belt like quite a bit. You do the pull, 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 and then you
yeah.
do, and then you go into the all leads up to this massive belt at the end. And so
Yeah.
it's really
It's
hard.
right in the beginning you have that what do I do? And
Yeah,
even I sung that lower than it
what
is.
do I do? And then the key changes and it goes into the mother always said be kind to
Mother
strangers.
always said be kind to strangers.
And then you know what? It's really a bitch on whoever's playing whatever poor 14-year-old girl they've got to play Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
When we did it, our Wednesday was amazing. She is very talented and very well trained, but yet she struggled
Yeah.
to get through pulled and then into one normal night.
Yeah.
Because one normal night, Wednesday's also singing and often running around the stage.
Yeah. I think this kind of leads into what I wanted to say,
Yes.
which is again, I'm gonna loop back to Joseph because I think it in a weird way it does link really well with Adam's family.
No, when you second you said the two of them, I was like, fuck. Checks
They
out.
which is Joseph, and again, I want to apologize because the only reason I know all of this is because it's in Andrew Lloyd Webber's book and I've read it.
You know, I was
But he,
thinking, I think we're going to struggle to bring up Angela and Weber in the Addams Family
oh
discussion.
no,
We've done
no,
it.
no, 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 no. I will find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I will always bring up Andy. But basically, there's this specific thing he says when he's talking about how he wrote like Joseph
Yeah.
and why he wrote it. And he was specifically like, the way I wrote it is so that the like 10 talented kids you always have in like a singing class get incredible roles. They
Yeah.
carry the show. You have like the narrator, you have Joseph, you have the pharaoh, you have all of these roles. And then the kind of shittier students who are just there, they get ensemble. And there's enough of them that it works. And Addams Family and I think Joseph are always performed to the same groups and with the same groups.
Yeah.
Again, kids who kind of want to go into musical theatre. And so, like you said, you will have incredibly talented people playing Wednesday, playing Joseph, playing the narrator, all of that stuff.
Or like if you're my
And then
friend Toby, playing oh god,
name drop
Ithaca, and then the next year he went
the
on
brothers.
one of the brothers, which he's still annoyed about to
Yeah.
this day. Don't bring it up to him.
Yeah.
And then it's his birthday.
Sorry,
on Sunday.
Toby.
It's his birthday, like the day
Happy
after.
birthday, Toby.
This is literally so shout out to
Happy
Toby.
late birthday. Enjoy Phantom. I've heard you're going. Enjoy Phantom.
And then the next year he got cast as Gomez, which if he didn't, he would have burnt his school down.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
I think, you know, Joseph works in that sense because you can kind of like I've always been ensemble because I'm not that great of a singer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm fishing for compliments.
Everyone can compliment now.
Everyone say I am. So I've always been ensemble. And it works because even if you're not the greatest singer, when there's like 20 other kids who are all singing the exact same thing, not being a great singer works when there's an ensemble. It doesn't work in Addams because there is never enough of an ensemble. Because like we were just saying, there's really not enough roles for it. And so that's why I think you can tell that Addams Family was written to be a Broadway musical.
Yeah, done professionally.
Joseph never was.
No, because I mean, even the tune of Joseph is very simple. It's do 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 do.
And like if you think like even when they're listing the colours,
it's made to be assembly sung.
Yeah, it was red and yellow and green and brown and purple and pink and orange and mauve and like I don't actually remember because I did it like 10 years ago. Oh my god, it probably actually was 10 years ago.
Fuck, what was I doing 10 years ago?
I was 10 years ago.
I did Cats over 10 years ago.
Oh my god. Joseph works with an ensemble, Addams doesn't. That's basically what I've been saying for about 20 minutes.
The ensemble singing in Addams, because when I did it, for some reason, I was just given some random lines to sing. They were just like, here.
Yeah.
You sing this one random part of the opening. It was hard and it was placed weird. Don't ask me why I was singing that. I'm still confused to this day about why I was doing that. I really enjoy Full Disclosure. I think it's a fun song. There's a very strange reference in it though that I had to explain to everyone.
What reference?
Once the favorite of the late great once the favorite of the late great Deng Xiaoping.
Oh my god, I know that reference.
I had to explain it to everyone, and then I had to explain to Toby how to say it, and then he'd always look at me as we were doing Full Disclosure. And so we just made it a part of Grandma, like she was once friends with Deng. It should be better.
Yeah.
It was a time, like...
I don't think there's much to say about it other than literally being like, when I did it, we did this, and I liked it, but then we also did this, and I didn't. And that's basically everything you can say about it.
Tango's fun. I like the music of it. I think that the music is good. I think it is quite funny and entertaining. Yeah. And I think it's a decently written musical. Like,
yeah.
What is there more for it to say? Anyway, life on Broadway. The New York Times reported, despite the short and scathing reviews that would bury most productions, it had...
Well, it's 851,000.
Thank you. On top of a 15 million advance sale week following the opening. The tie is basically just because it's an adaptation.
Sorry, I'm learning about science.
Those finally got a candle.
No,
Was,
did you know someone had to explain to me that the reason candle flames burn is because they're eating the wax?
yeah, that's why the wax
I just
disappears.
had no idea about it. And then they were like, yeah, so if your candle isn't burning high enough, you just scoop up a bit of the welted wax and feed it onto the flame and it will go higher. I was like, that's no way that's true, but I just tried it and it is.
Okay. Um,
And so now I'm having fun.
one notable thing about the Addams Family for 2010 is that it was actually quite big online.
Was it?
Yeah, it got a ton of nominations at the Broadway.com Awards, with it having 10 nominations overall, which are fan voted. And it had one of the first Broadway.com vlogs.
Actually,
Yeah,
icon.
it was called Addams Family Home Movies with Jackie Hoffman, and it would have 26 episodes overall.
That is an insane amount for a Broadway.com blog.
They normally last 5 weeks,
Maybe longer sometimes.
sometimes longer. Um, because a lot of people were like, Laura Osnes' Cinderella vlog was the first one.
No, wrong.
Which one do you count as the first one?
Addams Family now.
But
But
before,
I just knew it wasn't the first one. I didn't actually know what was first.
yeah, like one of the first big ones was Addams Family.
Were there ones before that?
You know, I don't think so. Really, they're all like unlisted. They're, like you can still
It's
find them.
crazy.
But I found that really interesting because movie musical adaptations do kind of have an easier time online than other musicals do.
Heathers.
Yeah.
Literally just Heathers. Just say like Heathers.
Heathers, Mean Girls, I'd even say what else? Legally Blonde.
Oh yeah. Legally Blonde
Because
is a good musical though.
Legally so is Heathers.
Well,
No.
we did actually 2 whole episodes
2 whole episodes.
saying maybe it's not.
I think it's good. Like out of the three, I would say Legally Blonde's the best. Then Heathers, then Mean Girls.
Very much changed your tune in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. But yeah, I found that really interesting because it is such a young person show and it has kind of always been that way.
Yeah.
Despite the poor critical response, it was nominated for major awards, but it didn't get too many major nominations. It got 6 nominations at the Drama Desk, but only winning one for Outstanding Set Design. I feel like one
Fair.
area that the Addams Family can really shine through for is in the set design.
Yeah, it's kind of like Beetlejuice and that. So I feel like kind of not even scary, but spooky musicals can do really well with set designs.
I feel like the popularity of Beetlejuice and how well it's done, both critically and commercially, the success of that can be owed in part to the Addams Family.
Oh yeah. I might be misremembering, but I could have sworn there's an Addams Family reference in Beetlejuice. I just don't know where it is or what it is, but I swear I remember there being one.
I could see.
You know what I mean, though. It feels like there was one.
No, I'm just going over it in my head as like, do I remember there being an Addams Family reference?
I feel like there was.
And I feel like there is because there are so many references in Beetlejuice, and the references are always changing. Because when I saw it, there was like a reference about how some American senator was acting weird, and
Well, they have a great reference recently. No, the fact that a fucking like
ah,
congresswoman was given a hand job in their audience to dead mum.
that I think about that so often. Anyway, at the Tony Awards, it would gain 2 nominations for Best Original Score and or Lyrics for Andrew Lipa, and Best Performance for a Featured Actress for Kevin Chamberlain as Fester. Finding out that Kevin Chamberlain played Fester actually like makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
There would be a original cast album that would be released on the 8th of June 2010, featuring most of the numbers from the Broadway version. This like cast recording would be streamed, played, whatever, all around the world. It would then close on the 31st of December 2011 after paying 723 performances and 34 previews. At that point, it was close to recouping its initial investment, with producers being hopeful that it would recoup. At
Why
this
did they
time,
close it?
huh?
Why did they close it?
Because ticket sales were probably because it was about to like cost them more money to run than not. Same reason why they closed everything. Um, and this time it was announced that it was going to be going on a national tour with a new version of the show. So the version of the show that we're familiar with is very different from the Broadway version. When they were planning the national tour of 11, they were still playing on Broadway, and they looked at the show and decided to make changes that were really drastic, which basically never happens. According to Andrew Lipa, they ripped apart the show, looked at the central conflict, and looked at the score and wondered where they could make improvements. Quote, we wrote it to make the show more about the characters and not just about the family, but the new characters that we included make it less bizarre and more human. Elise, the book writer, stated that by the time the tour started in New Orleans, it was a brand new show. It was finally like something we had in mind when we originally started thinking about the show in 2008, 2007. One of the biggest changes was the bizarre Act 2 love song, In the Arms, sung by a visitor that Addams Family mentioned following a sexual encounter with a giant squid being cut.
I was just gonna say I remembered that bit about the fucking squid.
I didn't.
I was aware that happened.
I was not, and I was scandalized when I heard it. Anyway, the new touring show plot has Morticia and Gomez's relationship tested when Gomez promises to keep Wednesday's secret that she intends to marry Lucas. She doesn't want her mama Morticia, messing up the foundation of the Addams Family marriage. We learned it in a new song called Secrets. Yes, because Secrets isn't on the cast album, but Secrets is an amazing song.
It's such a good song.
It is genuinely one of the best ones, and when performed well, is such fun. And thus, Gomez is pulled in several directions, and a new song, Trapped, as well. And Trapped is another amazing song. This would go on to be the version of the show that would be performed internationally, and like this would be the licensing one.
Interesting.
It is very interesting because we don't see that very often. Like, I mean, I know we've talked about it quite a bit already, off topic, but Mean Girls I know did have changes when it went on tour.
Yeah.
But I knew that they were like small line changes,
Mm.
not the entire central conflict of the show. It's still crazy to me that they didn't really like have Gomez and Morticia fighting that much in the original version.
Yeah.
Because it is such a central part of the show.
But I feel like as well, generally, like outside of the musical, Gomez and Morticia's marriage is meant to be like perfect the entire time.
Yeah. No,
We can kind of understand why.
I understand the impulse, especially if they had pressure from the estate.
Yeah.
To be like, you guys like need to make sure that this musical is good.
Bad news to them.
When it was first reviewed in the Chicago Tribune, Chris Jones stated that it was overall weighty, lacking humor, spontaneity, and narrative focus. However, when the changes were made, he said it was infinitely better than the Broadway version, enjoyably if visually simplified, less ambitious, but built for an old-fashioned run.
Kind of fair.
Which I think is fair. Like, I don't think anyone was expecting something like Addams Family the musical to like break.
Yeah. I don't think anyone ever expected it to be like, I don't want to say good, because they probably did expect it to be somewhat good.
I don't think they did expect it
to be like popular.
Yes. Yeah. And they also weren't expecting they weren't expecting a Lion King. And I think that's what they thought they were making. And especially if they were having changes with the creative team, then that could not have helped. Anyway, there would be a UK tour in 2017. Yes, there would be. So the UK premiere of the show, they didn't bring it to the West End. They were just like, we'll just take it out on tour.
Yeah.
So the tour took place in 2017, going to like all of the standard tour cities in the UK.
Yeah.
With it opening in Edinburgh in April 2017 and ending in October 2017. And this would also play Singapore for the first time the show would be performed there. This tour is probably best immortalized by Carrie Hope Fletcher's vlogs.
Yes. The icon herself.
Congrats on her baby, by the way.
Congrats on her baby. Congrats, Carrie. Congrats on getting to sing with Darren Criss too.
Darren Criss. I feel like that's also impressive. Also, congrats on the marriage, but mainly congrats on the Darren Criss thing.
Yeah.
Some of her most viewed videos are the Addams Family vlogs, and there were a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
It was called like Watch Me Wednesday or something. I did always appreciate the little pun that she'd come up with for it.
What was it actually? Was it just Watch Me Wednesday?
I believe so. That's what the playlist was called.
Going on her down YouTube.
Yeah.
She had some good ones.
I remember because like
Follow Me Fontaine.
Yeah, I didn't watch that, but
it was just Watch Me Wednesday. There were 28 of them.
Yeah, 28 vlogs. That's a lot of free promotion for the Addams Family.
Yeah. She had, in contrast, by the way, 16 Veronica vlogs.
I think that's I think they were weekly, so it's like how many weeks Heather's ran for 16 weeks when it first came to the UK.
Yeah. 15 in Follow Me Fontaine.
Yeah, it was the stage concert, wasn't it? Or something like that. Or COVID.
The stage concert. A truly scrumptious tour.
Yeah.
That's
What were the Cinderella ones called? Or are they gone?
Cinder Sunday 7.
Showverview?
Showverview?
No clue.
It was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Ah.
And there was only one of them, apparently.
I think then it was changed to Truly because
it was a show review or overview.
Oh,
and so it's like a 30-minute long video about her time in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Oh, it's from when she was. There's 3 videos of when she was in the panto.
Like the final, because basically it's really hard to like find out dates about when this first Addams Family tour went. So Carrie's vlogs were very helpful.
Yeah.
In that exercise. With some of like her most viewed videos or vlogs are Addams Family vlogs.
Yeah, they all have over 200k views.
The most watched one has 400k, and the last one she did has 385k.
Okay, when you say 400k, do you mean that like exactly?
About, yeah, rounded.
Because I was gonna say her first one has 465k.
Oh, yeah.
And then her opening night one has 400k.
Yeah. So this was vlogged to the ends of the earth, this tour. And also like her friends would feature in it a lot, and they also gained followings.
Yeah.
The guy who once liked your tweet.
Oh, please don't remind me.
In those vlogs all the time.
Yeah.
I think he would go on to play Festa because he was like in the ensemble originally. One thing that I will say about the Addams Family is that I appreciate that they often have someone playing the moon.
Yeah.
I think that's really cute. The show has been done all over the world in many different locations, including Brazil, Sweden, Argentina, Australia, Finland, Peru, the Philippines, Germany, Italy, Mexico, France. Made it to Paris before Phantom.
Good.
Ukraine, Malta, and Russia.
Yeah.
So it has truly been done everywhere. And again, I think that goes back to the thing of it being a recognizable thing. It's a safe bet to put on. And everyone kind of already knows the dynamics going into it. As we've said, like this show has been done to death by everyone.
Everyone has done it.
It is the most performed musical in high schools in America, with it being the most performed show in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and then like 2021 to 2022, it was like in the top 5. So they're very interesting like reads about what is the most popular shows at any point.
I've seen an alarming amount of high schools do Phantom of the Opera. I think you can get the rights.
No, you can.
I don't think they can afford it.
No, I think it depends on where you are. Because I know Paul Mescal did a production of it.
But I've seen and they're like full-scale productions, like they've got a fucking boat.
They got a chandelier.
I've seen some with chandeliers.
Although
I don't know if they properly raise it.
Huh? How can you do Phantom without the chandelier?
I reckon you must be able to.
Anyway,
I'm guessing you just do the fake chandelier that a lot of productions do actually do,
yeah.
you know? But
Steve Spiegel, who is president and CEO of Theatrical Rights Worldwide, which licenses the show in several formats, including a 30-minute elementary school performance version, and says that he is eyeing a possibility of a sequel by the same authors, says that in the last 5 years, the Addams Family has been the #1 most produced high school show, and in four of those years, and in the other one, it was #2. To like wrap up our thoughts on this, please don't do another one.
please. Wednesday was bad enough. Just
Please
leave it.
go. Like, you guys have made the perfect, like, next to Joseph, it is the perfect school musical.
Next to Joseph and like Grease.
I was looking at this list. Grease isn't on there. These
What?
lists.
Hold on. What is? Can you show me one of these?
Yeah, do you want to see the most recent one?
Yeah.
Okay, full-length musicals. Mamma Mia, number
Okay.
2. This is the most recent data.
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods, yeah.
I guess I can see it actually. Little Shop, I can see because I've done Little Shop.
Yeah.
Anything Disney, understand completely. SpongeBob is
SpongeBob
intriguing.
makes sense though. SpongeBob
Oh,
makes
it
sense.
definitely does, but it's weird.
Chicago makes no sense.
See, I don't want to comment on it because I have done Fame Junior twice
I've
in a
done
school setting.
Chicago. No, I can comment on it. I've done Chicago. We had to cut a lot of actually, but I just don't know how if like Middle America how they get away with doing Chicago.
Well, it's Chicago Teen Edition, so
So what they do they cut? I guess like the first thing you cut is Roxy's fake pregnancy storyline.
I mean, like, think what they cut from Fame because we've done Fame together and I've done it before as well.
Yeah,
They cut a lot from Fame. Like,
yeah.
I've been in productions. The first one I did was in primary school, which is insane, by the way. Doing Fame in primary school is insane.
For like our international
Um,
listeners, primary school, the oldest you are is 11.
yeah, and I was probably like one of the oldest ex. My birthday was really early in the year.
Yeah,
Um, and they literally cut
yeah,
uh all of Carmen's storyline. Like she left to go to LA. That's it. We
yeah.
never see we. I think they cut um the song in LA.
Yes. But when we did
They
it,
cut her
like
whole drug addiction. They cut all of that because our high school one had the drug addiction in it, which was
and
weird.
in LA, and we gave the person who was playing the drug dealer
Oh yeah,
Haribo's.
we supplied the drugs. We gave them Haribo's in a little
And
packet
I
that we
think
had.
I think once we did actually slip some
Yeah,
paracetamol on
and
stage because she was
our
sick.
entire cast got sick, including the girl playing Carmen.
Someone was like
Um,
she was like sick right before our first performance.
yeah, like she threw up and then went on stage. But basically, this was really weird actually looking back. They separated us, so we were ensemble.
I was just
I was
working it.
ensemble. You were backstage.
Yeah.
Um,
I was running
they
around. It was
wouldn't let
good.
us go backstage until we were going on, which kind of makes sense because it was a very small area.
Yeah, our
But
school
so
is
they
not
then,
built to put on
oh
musicals.
no. But
What?
basically, they would not let us go backstage until we had to go on stage,
No,
and they
because it
wouldn't let
literally
Esme
like
leave backstage
no, I got to leave what I got to leave once a
once.
show to go and give you guys that.
And so basically, we were like, okay, we have access to I think I was 16 at this point.
Yeah.
So I had access to basically go and buy paracetamol, so I did. And I think so I bought some other kind of like sick I think I bought like Frennies or something to like help with nausea. But we couldn't go back and give it to the rest of the cast. So when we did this drug deal scene, we basically got the little bag together. That was our job. And instead we put basically actual drugs, as
No,
in
because
paracetamol and like little pills.
the guy who was sent to like to be the drug dealer came to me
He
and
was
went,
our friend.
he was yeah, he was our friend. He went, "Where's the bag?" And I went, "What the fuck do you need that for?" Like, "Oh, I've got drugs here." And I went,
Yeah, because for a while we just faked it. Like in rehearsals, we just faked it. And then we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we just put something in a bag and gave it to them?
And then like she died.
Yeah, and I think we had some very funny ideas. I don't know if you ever heard these. Uh, we wanted to do some kind of vegetables for a while,
Uh-huh.
like peas or something, that would
Right.
be very obvious in color. When we went through doing the Haribos, we wanted to give just the Haribo powder, like the sugar, like the Tankfastic
Yeah.
sugar, which we thought would be funny.
That would look
Um,
like something else.
yeah, which is why we thought it'd be fun. Honestly, I think giving the actual paracetamol was probably the best thing we did because
Well,
it
no,
was
because
actually very
she
helpful.
was so sick as well.
Yeah, she sung it perfectly. She
I
did it
mean, like,
very well,
honestly, like, such respect to
but
her. And
she
she
was
also
very
didn't
sick.
have an alternate because often the way we do it was like sometimes you'd play this throughout,
Um,
like on this performances.
no, actually, I will complain about this. That was not the way we usually did it. We either did two casts for every character,
Yes,
and one would do because we basically did a matinee and an evening every single day
for like a
for
week. It
our
was
yeah. It was
so
very weird.
so
We got those 8 shows in, I'll tell you.
we did 8 shows over like 4 days, and then we
Yeah, we were
all
doing
got
like
sick,
two
and they were
shows a
like,
day.
"Why are you all sick?" And it's like, "Well, you've just like put us in a contained
Yeah,
area and made
but
us
basically,
work for like 12 hours a
we
day."
yeah. Well, we would usually do either two casts. So every single character would have two people playing it that you would then switch on and off, or you
Unless
would
they
just
didn't
do
have enough
one
boys.
cast. Yeah, or you just did one cast.
Yeah.
And then here's the really fun thing for me. We could only do our musicals up till year 10. Then in year 11 you weren't allowed to do it because you're doing your GCSEs. Then
Oh, God
theoretically you were
forbid.
meant to be able to do it in sixth form, but we never did.
Well, no, because
Um,
there were mitigating factors.
there were, but
Also,
also
did we
in
want to do our
every other
school
year,
production
no
of
other sixth former
Grease?
did it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Did we want
Yeah,
to do Grease?
no. They didn't do Grease anyways. So
I swear they did.
not until after we left.
That. Oh yeah, that's how long it took them to put on
Yeah.
another musical. So yeah, our school is very arts
Yeah,
focused.
but basically, we were only allowed to do it till year 10. When we were in year 9, every single role went to the year 10s. It was like High School Musical that year, which is great, by the way. It was a great musical. Every single role went to the year above us. And they were like, well, it makes sense because next year it will be your turn.
It's their
We go
final
around to
time,
year
and
10.
they had kind of been working their way up to it, like a lot of
Yeah,
those
and
guys,
yeah, it was a ton of
because
like drama students who were
uh
like, this is what we want to do.
and a lot of
And they're like, yeah.
like one.
There was one girl who is very talented and I shan't say her name,
We're
but
not gonna
is
say her
now
name,
on the West
but
End,
she's
has been
worked on like
twice.
two West End shows, and
Yeah,
we didn't realize that she was working on the West End until one of her West End shows almost closed. And then my sister was like, "Oh, so and so's in that."
I'm like, really? And we still didn't go and see it.
I was
But
like, "Really?" How? And then she was like, and then I looked it up and it was true. And she's like, "Oh, so you don't believe me?" And I was like, "No, I did, because how else would you know about this?"
yeah, yeah. I think she's in or was in another one.
No, she is in another one.
In.
In.
She's
We're
very
gonna
good, and she'd
we're gonna go
left the
see
year
that, but
before,
for
and she'd
different.
left the year before, so it was kind of a free for all for a lot of like the female castings, and they had some great people in there.
Yeah, like I can name some
And
of
so,
them.
like, I want to make it clear right now, this is not me being like I should have gotten that role.
Yeah.
Um, Especially not when I was in year 9, because these were very talented people. And then we went into year 10, and we're like, finally, it's our turn, and we did Fame, and Fame is notoriously pretty good for casting opportunities. And I was like, I want to be Mabel. I love Mabel's character. I want to play Mabel.
Oh God, Mabel. Oh God.
I shan't say much on who they actually casted for me. And again,
Very
I
sweet
said this like
girl.
5 seconds ago.
Such a
I'm
sweet
not saying
girl.
this in a way of I should have had this role. This I deserved it. I'm saying
Also,
it in
like,
it's
also
very
like,
weird who they ended
no,
up casting.
no hate to any of our former classmates because
No, because everyone who got a role was incredible.
very talented. I just I wonder about some of the casting
Yeah,
decisions that were
but it was
made
weird,
based on
specifically,
type.
yeah, specifically who they chose for Mabel, and then also the fact that over half the cast were year 9s.
But I also knew that like Let's Play a Love Song girl, I cannot remember her name and can only remember who she was played by. Um,
Serena,
yes, she was double cast.
yeah, Serena was double cast. Carmen wasn't.
Carmen wasn't. It was just Serena, I think.
I feel like one more wasn't. Yeah,
Oh god.
basically there was like a few other roles that were double cast,
Like
but like
but minor.
maybe 5 roles max that were double cast, and even
Yeah.
that sounds a bit high.
No, I think it was like Serena and one other.
Serena, I want to say the name was Lamb Chops, but I'm like 100% sure it's not.
No, lamb chops does sound really familiar.
It's something like that. It's a really stupid name. That and then I feel like was his name Tyrone? It,
Tyrone.
it's such a racist name
Tyrone
looking back,
and then
but he wasn't double cast.
Tyrone's song was Tyrone's rap.
Oh, which we loved. That was a great song.
We loved, but like,
The
can
guy
you
playing
guys
him was
come up?
really nice. I'm still friends with him.
He was really nice. But can you guys like come up with an actual name for
I
Tyrone and
feel like
Amaya?
one of the
Wait,
male
do you want to know what's notable at number 9 and 10? Back to this list.
Legally Blonde and Mean Girls,
Yes.
only one of them being the high school version.
Yeah. No, that will be a pared down version, I swear.
What would they have to cut from Legally Blonde?
I think gay or European, there's an alternate song that they
No,
can do.
no. I'm looking this up.
They've made lyrics changes because when I saw it at Regent's Park, there were lyric changes. And sometimes for a British audience, they have to cut parts of the Irish stereotypes in Ireland.
I'm
But
literally looking. There's not coming up with anything for a Teen K.
okay, I could be wrong.
Legally Blonde Junior. What is cut? I'm literally actually looking through this.
Wow, that was like me with into the words.
They keep Ireland. They keep Chip on My Shoulder. They
Okay.
keep. They must be. There must be a lyric change and so much better.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But
Oh, 100%. That whole
Bend
part.
and Snap is still in there.
That makes sense because it's an iconic. I want to know what sexy is like in the high school version of Pinga.
Oh, they don't. No, they don't have Gay or European.
That's what I thought.
It seems that whole bit is just cut.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Oh my God. This shit is expensive.
Yeah.
Rice.
Why do you think we never did any of the big high school shows and just did like random
Shout out to Hal Leonard for
putting it all online?
yeah. Well, for making me pay 100 quid to see any of these shits. Um, should I look up Heather's? Well, no, Mean Girls.
Mean Girls quickly. But one thing I will say about Addams Family being one of the most produced shows is you know that they are going to come out with a school version of Beetlejuice. Or
They are. Can't wait to do it.
yeah, you're gonna
I'm going back.
going back that high school could never have the budget to do Beetlejuice.
No. I mean, they got a car for Grease, apparently.
Yeah, but our drama teacher told me and another girl that it was like her whole budget
Full synopsis.
for the year. Is I think Beetlejuice will make its way onto that list the first year it's out.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I'm just gonna talk through Mean Girls Junior for a
Oh yes,
second.
please do.
Okay, I have a question, but we'll get to it in a second. This cannot be. You're actually kidding. This is the actual. Okay. Cautionary Tale
Yes.
has been replaced by a song called Mean.
What the fuck?
It Rules reprise.
Yeah.
Where Do You Belong? Meet the Plastics,
Yeah.
parts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Stupid with Love, Apex Predator, What's Wrong with Me?
Yeah.
Revenge Party, part 1.
Okay.
No, someone gets hurt. Because that comes before Revenge Party. Revenge Party, part 2.
Yeah.
This is the bit that did shock me a little bit. Looking around the poll is in there.
Say what you will about Mean Girls, and God knows I said it this episode, but I really do like Rocking Around the Pole.
Yeah. Fearless is in, obviously.
Do.
Whose House Is This? More is Better.
Wait, they go.
Well done.
Wait, what?
Okay, Fearless
Yeah.
happens.
Act 1 closer.
Assuming it's the Act 1 closer. The
Yeah.
next song listed, Whose House Is This?
Okay, so they've just cut Stop, which I understand.
Yeah. And
One of
Sexy.
this Sexy, obviously.
Because Sexy is the opener.
Sexy. No, Sexy isn't the actual opener. It's Sexy's in before someone gets hurt.
That's
Don't-
true.
Don't test me. This is
I
the
really what is the Act 2 opener then?
Stop. It's
Oh
Stop.
God, I forgot. Yeah, it is.
Stupid in Love reprise or something like that. What's Wrong with Me reprise.
Whose house is this?
Yeah, it's probably Whose House Is This?
Well, that's the first song of Act Two.
What the fuck?
Then More is Better, which I think is where it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Because then you get the line Janice and Damien arrive and confront Katie for lying, but you don't get a song.
So someone gets hurt, reprise is also being cut.
Which I guess makes sense because if you didn't have the first, someone gets
Although,
hurt, the second one wouldn't make sense.
yeah, okay. I think they're two different songs, but sure.
Well, Burn, I'd rather be me, shocking. I'd rather be me tagged.
Huh.
Do This Thing Part 1, Do This Thing Part 2, Icy Stars.
They've kept Do This Thing?
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
I don't know, they cut some massive.
But Do This Thing makes sense because otherwise you'd have to add so much dialogue to explain that last little bit.
Yeah. I'm glad they kept Well Burn because I really
Well
enjoy
Burn's good. We've gotten so distracted.
They've kept the thing I was going to say about that, going back to the Addams Family and Beetlejuice and High School Productions, is my hypothesis is that Beetlejuice is going to become the next Addams Family.
No,
Why?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because it's slightly too specialized.
I will say the set is
You
definitely...
understand, think. You don't see a ton of say tap dancing in High School Musicals, but tap dancing is in Beetlejuice. And yes, you could change it.
I know someone who's doing Anything Goes, and they've removed all of the tap dancing.
Which is a whole different problem, if we're being honest.
Anyway, continue.
But it's slightly too specialized.
Yeah.
In that, the voice.
Yeah, but
the subject matter is a little too weird.
Chicago's
How are you going to do creepy old guy?
Fair.
Because you cannot cut creepy old guy, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Okay, I will be
You also cannot cut a song like Dead Mum, even though that's a kind of weird song to do in a high school. You cannot cut the fucking, oh my god, what is it called? If I'd known then what I know now.
What I know now.
Yeah, that is all about suicide. The main character has in that song has her wrists tucked.
The thing
for the whole time she's on stage.
The thing with Beetlejuice and the school version is it's gonna come out and everyone's gonna do it for a moment. But I'm just gonna be so intrigued to see what the changes they make are.
But that's the thing. I feel like if something is changed too much, you cannot do a good school version. We just read out what fucking Mean Girls Jr. and what was the other one we read?
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde Jr. Even though I would say both of those have pretty not even mature, but mature subject matter than what a high school. Even though at least one of them is set in a high school, I still think it's a bit mature to have actual high schoolers play, which is a weird kind of paradox.
That was kind of my argument with Into the Woods of if you have to take out the entire second act, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, Mean Girls is a more mature piece than you might expect upon first seeing it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's also not a great piece. I'm sorry.
As we've said.
So they don't take out too much because otherwise it would just be a different show.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Legally Blonde. They can do some lyric changes and take out a few songs, but they can't change it too much or it'll just be a different show. Beetlejuice, without significant changes, I can't see it working for a high school.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm going to be so intrigued. And I guess one of the things that makes the Addams Family so interesting is that I think that they may have crafted the touring version in mind that they were going to license it. Because in that statement saying, we will make up the money either from touring or licensing, then maybe the reason why Addams Family is so well done, so widely done, is because it's a professional musical that was created in mind for children, but it doesn't.
I also think the licensing is cheaper than we might think it would be, and especially in comparison to other musicals.
Yes, yeah. Because I mean,
Also, this is what I was gonna say. You know when we did the Newsies episode?
Yes.
You were like, "Oh, Newsies was the most sought after musical for Disney to license,
Disney
so that it could be performed in high school." Yeah, and so then they did this one production, just for a little bit,
Yeah,
uh
that's what I
to
thought.
show how it was meant to be done.
It's on the
How
list.
the fuck were they expecting high schools to recreate that? Like the dancing aspect of what Newsies was?
I don't know, but it is on the junior list.
Okay, but there is a difference between like Newsies and Newsies Junior.
Yeah.
Also, I've done Annie Junior and it's a bit weird. Um,
I've done none of these.
I mean, these junior ones.
No. The only one
I've
from the first list I've done it is Addams Family
Oh, hold on, let me
and
go through these. I want to show you what I've
Chicago.
done. Can I talk about these?
I
I've
mean,
done
yeah,
Addams Family. I've done
uh-huh,
Little Shop. I've done Beauty
uh-huh,
and the Beast.
uh-huh.
I have done Chicago briefly. Not done anything else. Juniors, I've done.
Wait, when did you do Chicago?
We did it for a showcase,
Ah,
so it was like a really shit version of the plot. Um,
yeah.
Short musicals. Okay, Matilda is weird because I have been in a showcase of Matilda, but I wasn't the group doing Matilda. But we
Yeah.
did learn it.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say I did uh I've learned bits of Newsies, but I haven't actually done it. I've done Annie Junior and I think Annie Full. I've done High School Musical. We've all done High School Musical.
Yeah. I've got
I've done Shrek and I've done Shrek Junior.
I've done none of these.
I have not done Lion King or Zoosicle. I really want to do Zoosicle.
I've done the weirdest shit.
Scroll down, I want to see more what else is on this list.
No, there's just plays.
Plays. I think I've done some plays. I actually love Radium Girls. I have done Alice in Wonderland. I had list of short plays. Where's DNA?
This is American.
Where's DNA?
Um, but no, I haven't done many of these. I've done Addams Family, I've done Chicago, but that
Yeah, but all of your drama schools were weird. You were doing cats at like 8.
yeah, baby. And when you were like, oh, this is the part where they like have the orgy, I was like, this is the part I've danced to.
That was the part with the orgy.
Like, I know this music.
I
I've
think
also done
when I was 8, I was doing Joseph like a normal child.
no, I've done Mary Poppins.
I actually haven't.
It's a decent musical. Uh, I've
I mean,
also
I
done
know.
like I've done like
I
Sister
I
Act.
know that Mary Poppins is good.
No, the musical like there's additional music and it's actually
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. So the thing with I have one more thing to say and then we're done. I wonder
Okay.
why Addams Family has never come to the West End.
I think because the tour worked best.
Yeah, so it has actually gone out on another tour since where it's
Yeah.
basically the same.
But it's like, how do I put this? If they did a Broadway run and it
Yeah,
didn't work, it was bad.
yeah,
And then they put
yeah,
it on a tour and it went really well. So they were like, well, we'll just do a tour of the UK. And the UK tour went really well.
yeah,
And then subsequent tours have done really well.
yeah.
Why would they then try and do a stationary one if in all their experience it hasn't gone well?
My thing is just bring it to the Dominion from like September to fucking November. Put it on for 3 months, you'll make a ton of money, take it out on tour.
I don't think you would because I
Maybe
feel like it's never really worked as a stationary show.
interesting.
How do I put this in a way that's going to make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And this is going to sound really bad at first.
Uh-huh.
Addams Family is boring.
Yes, I get that,
Like
yeah.
plot wise, it is not a very complex plot. There's not like twists and turns and like big reveals, and you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. It's a
Yeah.
pretty boring show in that sense. It's a fine plot,
Yeah.
but it's not great. It's not riveting. So if you keep it in one place for like 2 months,
Yeah.
you don't know how long the tour stops are usually. Addams
Uh
Family.
I know in the UK they were like weekly changes.
Okay.
I think the longest they stayed somewhere was probably like Singapore, where they were probably there for like a couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say even if you kept the Addams Family in one spot for like 2 months,
Yeah.
that is only so many people are going to be willing to travel from out of town to go and see it, and only
Yes.
so many people in London, assuming this is on the West End, only so many people in London will go and see it, and very few of them will see it more than once.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
2 months is way more than enough time for all of them to go and see it.
Yeah.
And after that, what do you do? If everyone goes and sees it in like say 3 weeks, which is slightly longer than you'd expect a tour stop to last,
Yeah.
which gives time for everyone that would have gone if it was just a tour in London and everyone traveling to come see it because it's not going to go to them. Then what do you do for the remaining, like, what, 5 weeks that's still going to be there? Because assuming, again, it's a stationary one, it's not going to go on tour. The set would be bigger and more expensive. The costumes might be bigger and more expensive because they don't have to worry about
And
traveling them.
maybe they'll be able to bring in like some more stunt casting.
Yeah,
I
some
reckon
stunt
though
casting. It's a bigger theatre.
I reckon though, like if they brought in like a Corey star or whatever. Have you seen the Bonnie and Clyde tour have done?
No.
The casting's really strange to look it up.
Oh, well.
I reckon I don't know. I think if they were to star cast it though, then it could last.
Yeah, I think, but who was it? It was probably a fucking TikTok comment about Hadestown, probably,
Ah,
where it was like stunt casting is fine in that it brings more people to your shows,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it makes your show lose integrity.
Yes, I
Because
saw that.
why is your show not good enough to sell on its own? Why is your show having to
Yeah.
bring in these
Although
people? Where is your show getting the money to bring these people if it's not selling well?
I don't actually want to get too much in the Hadestown
I don't want to
casting
talk about
thing.
Hadestown too much because
But I will say
I
is
think
who the fuck is Betty Who?
she's a fine singer, I guess.
No, I
Who the
just don't
hell is
know who
she?
she is.
I don't know who she is.
Is it just a
Like,
cultural thing? But like I
I
googled her
don't
and
know.
I'm
I saw
just
something being like, oh, a ton of people went to go see it because Betty Who was there, and it was like their first ever Broadway show, and they went there just for Betty Who. Like, who are these people?
trying to figure out who the hell Todrick Hall is.
But basically, what I'm trying to say with the Addams is that it could stunt cast it and it could be fine. Even if they just bought like Carrie Hope Fletcher
Yeah,
as
just
like
like play Morticia.
fucking Morticia for like half the run, that could do some pretty good things.
Yeah.
But why would they do that when they know if they, for cheaper, usually, at least slightly cheaper in the long run,
Yeah.
could send a not stunt casted cast around the UK, stop for less time, and
Yeah.
make more money.
Yeah.
And that is proven to work with this particular show.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do understand. Yeah.
You know, like I think definitely they could go into, like you said, the Dominion for like a week. But why
Yeah.
would you go in the Dominion for a week when
Yeah.
you could go somewhere else?
Yeah. That's
That's
probably
the
what
Addams Family.
that's do you want to
Feel like
say
you can't say, considering everyone has done the show, you can't, there's not much to say on it.
no? Like
It's like I don't have to spend an hour like I did with Phantom, be like, so there's these nuances in the plot. And you won't understand it unless, firstly, you've read the book, and secondly, you have an understanding of Gaston Leroux's previous journalist history.
or you have a deep understanding
But
of Andrew Lloyd Webber's psyche.
yeah, or Andrew Lloyd Webber's personal life, then you can understand Phantom. It's the Addams Family. They're a creepy family. There's a normal family they meet.
Yeah.
You've done the show. You know what it's about.
Yeah. Sort of if you haven't done the show, now do you want to share what we're doing next week? Do you know what we're doing next week?
Bad Cinderella by Andrew Lloyd Webber.
We're back talking about our favorite person.
We never stopped. I talked about Joseph for half this episode.
So yes, if you didn't hear now, because she almost said what we're gonna be doing the week after. Although probably not
One of my
surprised.
favorite musicals. The
Bad
week
Cinderella.
after. Bad Cinderella.
I've not
Guys,
listened
did
to
you
all of
know that there's a panto this year in London, which is called A Very, Very Bad Cinderella, and I really want to go see it.
Yeah, that was desperate.
It actually sounds good. It doesn't sound like Lloyd Webber's Bad Cinderella.
Cinderella. But we're very excited
I
to
actually
talk about
cannot wait to talk about this because I finally get to talk at large about the weirdness of the opening number.
I've actually got to listen to it.
I'll send you. I've never watched a bootleg. I need to bring this back. I've never watched a bootleg. However, I can send you something.
We've not said I've never watched a bootleg.
I've never watched a bootleg, but I
Also,
can send you
I
something
I forgot to say
that might let you watch it.
I forgot to say in the Into the Woods episode, I don't watch bootlegs. I don't support like distributing them. But if anyone has
I've
something
never watched a bootleg. However,
that could be the 2020 original cast
Tell me so I can report it.
in an Into the Woods thing. Send it to me so I can make sure that
I'm
illegal
sending it to
activity
the Sondheim estate,
it's
and
not
I'm getting
happening
them to take it down.
after it's saved to my Google Drive.
I've never watched a bootleg, and
Never
I would
seen it.
never purposefully download a bootleg on the off chance that it could get deleted later in life. However, my
No,
Google Drive is getting a little full.
no one listen on Google Drives. Um, however, we are very excited to talk about a couple of things that we love talking about: UK politics, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and bad musicals next week.
It really is the perfect musical. Why did it ever close?
And we can have the game of working out who the hell Todrick Hall is next week because he comes up.
Love Todrick Hall.
Do we?
I loved him on Dance Moms.
Anyway, join us next week for Bad Cinderella. Goodbye.
Bye.